What were your thoughts on it? And I'll start with you, Abby. She said a lot, didn't she?
She did say an awful lot. I have to say, my first thoughts is she's not a natural public speaker, is she? I mean, she was so boring, I dropped off halfway through. And she's got that Beth Rigby thing of going, speaking. She hasn't got a G at the end. That really annoys me. Also, comparing herself and her government to Margaret Thatcher, I thought was absolutely outrageous. They are in no way, shape or form anything like the Thatcher government. And also, I thought it was interesting that she focused on freedom and democracy being primary, when in Austria and Germany, they're about to have mandatory vaccines. And are we going back to the Nazis?
Well,
that was one of my thoughts.
Well, no,
focus is a bit odd.
Well, to be fair, I mean, what she did say about Thatcher and Reagan was that she talked about communism, and she mentioned the evil communism and all that kind of thing, and then she mentioned that those governments at that point, and then she also talked about the Berlin Wall in 1989 as well, didn't she?
It's still undemocratic, and it's almost like there's a blind spot with what's happening in Europe at the moment. Those were my thoughts. Also, China. Very little mention of China.
Well, she did have a gentle mention of it.
And the release of the, the accidental release of the coronavirus.
Because she talked about bioterrorism, but she didn't include them in the same sentence.
Yeah,
she took a break and then mentioned
Which I thought
China.
was very odd.
She said an awful lot, but it signified nothing. She's the Home Secretary. She should not be in Washington, D.C. today. She should be on the beaches of Dover. The one single thing that most people are angry about and want addressing today, yesterday and last week is some people would call it an invasion. I'm not sure I'd necessarily call it that myself, but they want that dealt with. They're all ignoring it. That's a threat to our security. It doesn't mean that every person who turns up at Dover is a terrorist, but that's what she should have been talking about. But instead, it was the checklist of the usual suspects. The Russians, they eat their babies, don't they?
No, they don't. They don't do that.
No, but that's what I'm saying. This is the stupidity of that propaganda speech. That was a speech to the Democrats. It was not a speech to the world, and it certainly wasn't a speech to the British people. I thought it was outrageous. I don't think she should be there. And she's the Home Secretary, not the Foreign Secretary.
You make a good point, actually.
In this country, dealing with our problems. And the biggest problem we've got at the moment, as Nigel Farage has been the only person, and now GBNews, of course, to illustrate it, is what's happening on the beaches of Dover. That's what the British people want.
Well,
people say there's a poll slump.
Interestingly, John, she's talked about... she never mentioned that, which is why I thought I'd ask him whether I'd missed it.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, of course, we sent another 100 troops, I think it is, to Poland.
Precisely.
Which does seem, it sort of sticks in the back of your teeth.
We can control the borders of Poland, but we can't, and Belarus, but we can't control the border of Dover. It's ludicrous.
I was going to say, this speech should have been entitled, after the horses bolted.
Yeah.
Because to be honest with you, the gate's been opened, the horses is right across the other side of the field, and to me that was a speech basically saying it's a bit late, so we better all start collaborating before something really terrible happens.
And not only that,
in terrorist terms.
What about Liverpool? No mention of Liverpool.
She did actually, she did very briefly mention Liverpool.
Along with Sir David Amess.
She did.
I apologise for that. But there should have been much more emphasis on that. People want to be secure in this country. People want to secure our borders before we secure the border between Belarus and Poland. She needs to get a grip, just like Boris Johnson, because otherwise they're going to be booted out of office without a shadow of doubt.
Welcome to the GB News YouTube channel. You can watch us live 24 hours a day, catch up on your favourite shows and join in the conversation in the comments below.
Don't forget to subscribe and you'll never miss any of our exclusive content.